Today, we've got the 190E back in the unit. We've got some very exciting bits going on it today. So join us as we install my new, to me, air ride system. We start with the only new part that I bought for this, because you know me, I love doing things on a budget. So I've gone for the Maxload bags. So got rear one there. I've also got Maxload front, but I bought them second hand because shortened lower control arms. Now this means that when the car is fully aired out, it can go much lower than if it was on the standard arms. I bought them second hand. They're from Only Charge Dubs, who, if you're in the know, they have gone bust. Naughty boys. So because of the shortened control arms, you can't run an anti-roll bar on the front. So that's all right, because I've only got the 1.8 engine. It's so slow, it probably doesn't even need an anti-roll bar. Next up, we have management. Now, I bought this second hand as well, off eBay. I got a Viair Compressor. I got an Airlift Performance tank. I got an Airlift Performance 3P manifold. And if you come to the workbench, young cameraman, I've got a nice airlift controller, which apparently works with Bluetooth as well. So just in case the wiring on the second-hand system was bad, I also bought a new wiring kit off eBay or Amazon, one of them. I think it was eBay, from Baseface. They used to make subs, and one of our friends had a Baseface sub when he was 17, and he was an absolute whopper.
It was rubbish as well, right?
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I've also bought this box. Now this box off Amazon, it means that instead of having all the... Right, tell me what it means. But basically what it means is we can run one power cable from the battery at the front all the way to the back, and we can run multiple things off this box in the boot. It also groups all the neutrals. So, also bought new fittings because didn't want to run used fittings on a new car, whatever. So I got some, because Maxload have quite conflicting information on their website, I bought BSPT fittings and MPT fittings. They were just from Amazon, they were from eBay or something like that, because Maxload state that they run off of PT fittings, which isn't a thing. And I spoke to their customer services and he didn't have a clue either. So, new shock absorbers. The old one's probably blown anyway, so it's good to replace them. But also I've had really good reviews back to me on the MTS Technic. So they're about 300 quid, I think, for 4. So all in, I'm probably at about £1,600 to £1,700 for this whole build. We had some wood lying around, which if you come with me, I shall show you. We have plenty of plywood just hanging about. Basically, I'm going to mount everything to the piece of plywood in the boot, and then I'm going to mount the carpet from the original boot floor to that bit of plywood, so it still looks a bit OEM. You just got a tank sitting on top, everything else is going to be hidden. So, remove the wheel well, remove that thing that screws the wheel well down.
You take that home for the missus, didn't you?
Yeah, she'll love it.
That's longer than she's used to.
True. I'm going to get rid of this bag in the boot because that was left from the previous owner. It's just got Rain-X in there and oil.
How you say that? You had the car almost a year.
You know, you never know when you're going to need it.
While Ollie cuts some of the wood for the rear, I'm going to start running some of the power cables from the front. So what we've done is we've bought... he's gone for the same as me. He's going to run a 4-gauge cable to the back. This is a bit overkill for the single compressor that he has, but it means that from that distribution block we can run some other stuff in the future and pretty much power other stuff off that because we have extra capacity on that. So I'm going to have to take the battery out. It looks like there's a grommet just down here. We can run straight through the firewall, which will come out in the passenger footwell somewhere. So I'll get the battery out and then we'll see where it comes out, basically. It looks like that there is where we're going to go through. Well, that's already in the footwell, which is a good start. And we'll leave enough up here. So that's where it's come through. just up in that corner, like that. And I've taken this trim, just literally pulls off. And then the actual carpet in this actually lifts straight out and you get straight to the floor, which is quite nice. I'm going to remove that. There's one screw down there, and then I'm going to try and prise away this panel so I can feed the power wire underneath and then get it into the carpet to run back that way.
So, very loosely, I've cut a teardrop shape that was supposed to be a circle out of wood to mount the compressor and the manifold. I'm going to tidy it up off camera, but so far this is my idea coming together.
Right, there you go, that's how it looks. That trim out, that panel out, tied the wire to there. We're starting to run it underneath the carpet. Just need to pull this carpet up here, but there's 2 screws to take this off, so, and I've started to take the bits out on the other side. I think the rear seats are just going to have to come out, but so got the rear seats out. We're just going to run it under this carpet, and then there's already a nice little grommet with a hole in there straight to the boot. So that's where we're going to follow these wires and go through that. Yeah, not too bad actually. So we've got to run one other wire from the fuse box from an ignition powered accessory. I have no idea what the fuse box is on this car.
Fuse box.
Oh, it's on the other side.
Or there's one that side, I think. Maybe.
That's a bit annoying.
Can we not run it and back under the windscreen wiper?
Oh, I wouldn't.
No?
No. So we'll come back. We'll come up back with a plan with that. There we go. Just tied it up, and it goes up through that grommet, just down there, and then come out underneath there. I'm going to run it just down under there. So we're going to start laying out the manifold and stuff now. Obviously the wiring's been cut because it's second hand, so we need to figure out what some of the things are. So we have loosely sort of put things in here. Obviously Ollie has tried to cut a circle and it's actually in the shape of a teardrop. So that's great. But no one's going to see it, so it doesn't really matter. So I've mounted the fuse box holder that's in there. The manifold I've put so the lines can run straight out through this grommet, so run straight underneath the car. And then mounted the relay down there and the compressor. So we've got 2 looms here. Down here is for the height sensors, that we're not going to use them, so we should leave them down there. And then essentially this one here is the negative and power to the compressor. So now because we're going to use this little distribution box down here. I'm just going to run them into there. There's different fuses we can do. It's got different A&L fuses. We'll run into the 30 amp. That's the same one it had, but these can actually run at higher than that. So if that blows, then we'll just switch on to the higher ones. And then we also have this loom here, which is that'll be an 12 volt ignition feed, and then you have the USB for the controller. So they need to go back that way, and these need to stay here. So there's a little loom. We'll just tie that up and just press it in there somewhere. So.
Make it a bit nice and fancy.
Nice and fancy. So another little life update. Right, we have run the cables, 12 volt and the USB for the front controller, you know, back where the power came in. And we've decided to run, with the airlift system, you need a ignition source, not a 12 volt accessory. So we're going to try and run that from the cigarette lighter. That should always be 12 volts with the car's on. So what I'm going to do is, we've taken it out, there's 2 screws, and then this whole fella falls off. And looks like someone's already spliced into this for possibly the radio, we assume. I'm not sure what kind of mischief has been going on back here. But basically what we're going to do, we've unplugged this, and I'm going to run, for the time being, this fused wire. I'm going to have to extend it slightly to that. And yeah, we'll see if it works, essentially. And then if it doesn't, we'll sort it out later. But that should be then the main wiring done. And then what we can do is we can run probably, I don't know, I can't remember now. Run some lines maybe. Well, we probably need to actually then get something in the bags on, to be honest. But But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to crimp another bit of wire on here to extend it to the spade terminal, and I'm going to plop that on there, and we'll see what happens later.
Might work, might not.
Might work, might not. Ollie's going to plug the controller in,
Like so.
and we are going to stick a battery on it and see if it all powers up. I think the compressor should actually just start running because it will read the tank pressure as 0. So I'm going to test it then.
So, ignition on. We have controller. We have radio. And we have compressor.
That should be... Cool. So that's all that done then. Obviously need to neaten up a bit. Turns off the ignition, fine. Yeah, so...
Bags and struts, and then we're done.